back to another episode of Magnet Ball Podcast. We just finished a good first week of college football with a lot of big games, a few upsets that we didn't see coming, but we'll get into all of that. I'm co-hosting here with Jaden Sheffy and Makai Slaughter. So welcome back, boys, and let's jump right in. We have a packed episode today. We're going to recap three big games. So we had LSU going to Death Valley and winning against Clemson. We had Texas looking uncharacteristic of themselves against Ohio State, losing 14-7. And then we also had Notre Dame going to Miami and losing a close one out there to the Hurricanes. We're going to discuss the power rankings with all the top 10 teams that lost. We'll talk about next week games. So we have number 14, Michigan, against 18, Oklahoma. And then we'll also talk about number 11, ASU against Mississippi State. From there, we'll jump into some NFL Week 1 games. NFL's back, and we're super stoked about it. There's a lot of big games Week 1, so we'll spend more time talking about those. We got Ravens at the Bills, Cowboys at Eagles, Lions at Packers, Chiefs at Chargers, Texans at Rams, and last but not least, the Vikings at the Bears. So let's jump right in. Let's start with LSU at Clemson going to Death Valley and getting a big win. Makai, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a very good game. I was able to watch a good amount of the game, fortunately. Very disappointed in what I saw at Clemson. I expected a little bit more from Clemson, especially with Cade Klubnik and those boys. But it was a very good game. I was very impressed with LSU, especially their front four or front seven. That front seven is fast. And, I mean, they manhandled a great O-line up there in Clemson. So I think Clemson's going to be one of the better O-lines in the country. And they manhandled him, which was very shocking to see. Cade Klubnik did not play too well. I expect him to play better, but I will admit, Garrett Nussmeier, I am a believer. I will apologize for any of the Garrett Nussmeier's slander. He is really, really good at playing quarterback. So I think he's definitely a first rounder after what I saw. He can put. There isn't many places he can't put the ball. Like he's amazing. He's very good. But yeah, I think LSU. I think, in my opinion, after what I saw, I think that's a top 5 team in the nation. And I think Clemson's still a top 5 team as well, even though with the loss and they didn't come out too well, but I still think they're a very talented team. I just think that LSU team is a lot better than I originally gave them credit for. So
I think it was a overall good game. I was a little disappointed as well in Clemson. Definitely thought having the home field advantage, the hype coming into the season, and the talent that they have on the offense and defensive side of the ball, that they would have pulled out a dub, at least by more than I had them think by more than 10 points, but I was definitely wrong. LSU looked really sharp. I came in with a lot of LSU hate, so that's obviously off the table. Brian Kelly definitely had those boys ready. That's a tough place to play, y'all. So they had those boys ready. Like Makai said, this is definitely a top 5 team after this week. And yes, I would agree. Garrett's the real deal. That boy can sling it. So overall, very, very impressive win. I would say, in my opinion, this was the most impressive win for this first week of college football.
agreed.
Yeah, definitely the most important win. I saw the stat, I think, past 10 years, like teams going to Death Valley like 52-3. So huge win for LSU, especially with that coach being on the hot seat. He lost the past 3 seasons in Week 1, and he needed this one bad, and they went in there and got it. Definitely a defensive game for sure. Holding Clemson to 10 points is a tough beat, especially at home. My biggest thing is Clemson's running game. Their starting running back had 5 rushes for only 16 yards, and then Klubnik 8 rushes for 1 yard. So they really just stifled Clemson's running game completely. And yeah, LSU showed up. Like Makai said, their front seven looked. Shoot, I was expecting Clemson's front seven to be, the better unit, but LSU came and they showed, that D line and the linebackers, they're doing everything to stop the run, and they accomplished that feat. So yeah, no, huge win for LSU. I had trust in Garrett Nussmeier. I knew he was going to be a good quarterback. He controlled the game. He didn't make mistakes, and on the road, like you want to play like you don't want to turn the ball over. You don't want to give the home team those kind of just hand them the ball and give them more chances. So yeah, no, huge one for LSU, and yeah, they're definitely going to move up in my rankings. Moving on to the next game, Makai with a good call here. I'm pretty sure you had OSU beating Texas in the shoe. I'll let you start, and I'm sure we all have some comments on this game.
Yeah, watched the game in its entirety. I was very, 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 very impressed with what I saw from Ohio State defensively. I'm not gonna lie, that might be the best secondary in the country after what I watched, man. That was great. That was a marvelous performance. I mean, to go out there with all the question marks they have defensively, I think that was probably everyone's question mark with Ohio State more than offensively. I mean, yeah, QB, yeah, the O line a bit, but it was really how is that defense gonna look up losing all the starters? I mean, whole new front four. On the back end, they lost Hancock. They lost who was the other guy? What's his name? Uh, Denzel Burke. Burke. They lost Denzel Burke. Like they lost a lot of talent on that defensive side, and I mean they look like they didn't skip a beat. Like I mean it just looks like okay, we just plug and play with another 5-star, and it was just dogs. I mean Arvell Reese, dog. Sony Styles. I mean the man's a freak, dog. Caleb Downs was just great yesterday. I mean it was a performance. That was a great, and Matt Patricia, the way he was dialing up the scheme. I mean, he had them confused. Even Sarkisian said in this post conference, like that first half, he didn't know what to do. Like they were confused. They didn't know what was going on, and for a young quarterback like Arch to go in a situation like that, it's just difficult. At the end of the day, it was very impressive what I saw from Ohio State. I don't think they really opened up too much to win. So offensively, I think they're going to be a lot better. I didn't think they were pretty conservative from based off what I've seen in terms of Ohio State offenses for the most part. So if you're Ohio State, you should feel great. I mean, you won a game where you scored 14 points and leaned on the defense and didn't really have to extend Sand too much, which is fine. As the season goes on, he's just going to become better and the offense will become um, more pass happy, a bit more pass happy. If you're Texas, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I'm gonna be honest. Wow, you lost to one of the best teams in the country. Ohio State's very good. They're only going to get better. If you're Texas, Arch Manning, first start, I mean, it's his first true road game. I wouldn't be too concerned. At the end of the day, that's a very good Texas program, Texas team in general. Arch is going to be fine. You got weapons on the outside. They're going to be fine. Going to have one of the best run games going into the season. The defense was very good too for Texas. I got to give them credit that that defense is very, very good. But I'm not going to overreact on either side. I just think Ohio State's a lot better than maybe we anticipated, but also Texas is going to be right there for a national championship, playing for a national championship or close to it towards the end of the season. So
Overall, really good game. One stat I wanted to bring up is on the Texas side. I thought the defense played lights out, to be quite honest. Only held Sand to 203 passing yards. Actually, excuse me, those are their total yards. Ohio State, those are their total yards, only 203. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. And only had 126 passing yards. They only rushed for about 60 some. Like, that's a really good day. Um, so with that, shout out to the Texas defense. On the flip side, Texas, I know they were kind of playing catch up there at the end, but they had over 300 total yards of offense. And what really stood out to me was 5 for 14 on third down. It just can't happen. Again, Matt Patricia called a great game. But I was really kind of shocked at the underwhelming preparation of Sark and the coaching staff on the offensive side. I thought they'd be a lot better, a lot more sharp, especially coming into week one, being the number one team in the country, knowing it's a big game. I just thought they'd be a little more prepared. I'm not going to put too much on Arch at this point. I mean, just off this week one performance, I was extremely disappointed. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the season. I'm just going to call it now. I don't see Texas winning a natty this year. And I do think Arch should stay another year in college. Yes, I know it's week one, but this was really underwhelming for me. Any guy that has a high expectations as a quarterback coming into the season, especially one that's called maybe a top potential pick, I think should be performing a lot higher right out the gate. But that's just my opinion. Again, first road start, first official start. I know he'll be fine, but Texas has a lot of work, in my opinion, if they want to perform at a high level, like against an Ohio State team.
Yeah, how I view this game is I'm taking it with a bit of a grain of salt. Um, I got to give credit to Ohio State. They came prepared. Obviously, a home game for them. That's in their favor. That defense played lights out. I looked at every throw that Arch Manning threw yesterday, and even if it was a bad throw, like it was clamps everywhere. Like there was a DB right on that receiver's hip. Uh, at every concept that was ran. Matt Patricia deserves a lot of credit. The different looks, the pressures he was sending. Uh, I just think he dialed it up and it messed with Sark's play calling and it messed with Arch and his timing. Uh, Another thing I noticed penalties. Texas had 6, Ohio State had 2, and then obviously Texas had that one turnover where Arch kind of just threw it up and it was picked off. Yeah, I just got to give credit to Ohio State. I think Texas will bounce back from this. If you look at all the stats, like Texas, they ran the ball better. They passed a bit more than Ohio State, but it comes down to situational football in these big games. And if you notice, like it is, 4th and 1 on the goal line, and if you get that play, obviously they called a QB sneak to get a first down earlier, and they call the same play and they get stuffed. I'm like, you're on the 1 yard line, do something creative, at least like hand the ball off to your back or get something going to the outside on 3rd and 4th down. If you convert right there and score, it's a tie game, and you never know what could happen. So, like I said, I'm not going to hold this against Texas too much, but this this comes down to coaching more than Arch's quarterback play, in my opinion. And I think he just got a really tough matchup week one against a lot of good DBs and a great play caller on defense in Matt Patricia. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I would agree. And like you said, it's situation, just plays like the 4th and 1. Everybody knows Ohio State. That's the strength of their defense is interior. I mean, if you throughout that first half that you should have known, like, why would you go QB sneak there? Ohio State had the best goal line defense in the country last year, and it showed that they didn't really skip a beat in the first half. So, yeah, I agree. I was kind of disappointed with Sark and some of his creativity too, but also too Patricia just had them. That's that NFL background, and it was on full display yesterday. So 2 days ago.
For sure. All right, moving on to the next game. This played yesterday. We had Notre Dame at Miami, and Notre Dame lost a close one out there. And so Jaden, what were your take on it?
This was a really good game. It was fun to watch. I thought the offenses on both sides came out really strong. I loved the quarterback play last night in this game. Um, I thought Beck looked really, really good. Was super efficient. 20 of 31, 2 tuds. But also, I thought Carr looked good too. I know he had the one interception, but for his first start, he had 2 touchdowns, 19 to 30. Like, that's a good game for him in his first start against a really, really good Miami team. I was very impressed with that defensive line. That defensive line is really good. And I'll even argue that I think Miami can make a push for the ACC championship over Clemson, but we'll get to that in the future. Um, Overall, I think, like I said, this was a very high potent offensive game. Both teams had over 300 total yards of offense. Um, Defensive line on both sides looked great. Obviously, the difference comes down to Notre Dame had 2 turnovers. And so it's hard to win a ball game when you turn the ball over twice, let alone once. I think that was a big difference. And Miami just made bigger plays in bigger moments. And I'll say one more thing. How about that catch, though, from Daniels?
Oh yeah,
That was sick.
That was nasty, huh?
that was crazy.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was good.
gross.
In double coverage too. Makai,
Yeah, yeah, that was a very good game. I was actually very considering. Matt, I didn't pick Miami, but I really thought about picking Miami. Like that's a good football team. I knew Beck was going to come out and look good. He looked very, very good. Kind of like what I've been saying in the offseason. Like Beck is not as bad as a lot of people want to say. Like he just had a really bad shake in Georgia, and it's really starting to come full circle. Like the weapons he has on the outside now, it doesn't even compare to what he had in Georgia. The O line that he has now, it doesn't even compare to what he had in Georgia. So it's really good to see how Beck is really starting to flourish. Albeit his first game, but it was a really good game. Like James said, it was a very entertaining game. My both of the quarterbacks played very well, in my opinion. Even the pick CJ Carr had, I mean, the dude bounced off dude's foot and lands into someone's hand. I mean, it happens. It's ball. It's football sometimes. But yeah, CJ Carr looked very good for a freshman. Freshman first game starting in that environment, which we've all known what first starts look like in that environment back in 2016. So yeah, it was really good to see. I had a little bit of problem of the play calling for Notre Dame. I thought they'd lean a little bit more into the run game, but also too they couldn't really run the ball too well, so I wasn't too mad at it. I thought Jeremiah Love could have had a little bit more touches. 14 touches for me, best back in the country. I love to see that a little bit more in the 20s. But it was really good to see that game. Also, to Malachi Tony, that brother can play. 3-star freshman, first start, which is unheard of to be a 3-star and then to start as a freshman opening day, and he looked like the best receiver on Miami. So yeah, if you're Notre Dame, you'll be fine. I still have them as a playoff team. This isn't something to get your head down because at the end of the day, Miami's probably a top 5 ball club. And they're going to continue to win football games, and as they continue to win football games, so is Notre Dame. So it's week one. It's week one, but it was a very good game.
yeah, it is week one, and I'm trying not to overreact to these big matchups. Yeah, I think it comes down to quarterback experience. I think Carson Beck just looked a bit more experienced than CJ Carr. Obviously, that one turnover was huge, but my biggest issue with Notre Dame was the running game. Uh, Price had 6 carries for 45 yards, but 30 of those yards came on one carry. And then
Yep.
you look at Jeremiah Love, he went 10 for 33. Uh, that can't happen. Averaging 3.3 yards a carry is uncharacteristic for him. And Notre Dame's going to need a lot more. Obviously, it comes down to that O line play as well, which is supposed to be a strength for their team. So I think the O line as well as the run game needs to improve a lot more, especially in big games like this. And that same thing, CJ Carr had 11 carries for 16 yards, and 13 of those yards came on one carry. And then Price also had that one fumble. So yeah, if the run game plays better, Notre Dame wins this game by 7 points or more, in my opinion. And you can't make those turnovers, especially on the road in a hostile environment. So, like I said, I'm giving props to Miami, but I expected a lot more from Notre Dame and their coach having this team a bit more prepared, especially after a deep playoff run. So we'll see what happens. Miami's poised to do a lot better now in the ACC is a big one for them. Yeah, and Clemson better watch out because this team looks legit. So yeah, I'll just leave it there, and we'll keep it pushing. We're gonna I'm gonna run through power rankings after these top matchups. We had 5 teams that lost in the top 10. So a lot of things are going to shake up. Before I jump into those top 10 teams, I'm going to give a quick shout out to a few teams that looks really good in their first week. My first team is Utah Utes. They they brought the belt down in UCLA. I think it was 43-10. The quarterback play looks so much better. That defense is real. Um, and I think they're going to compete with Iowa State for the Big 12. And that's my next team on there is Iowa State. They look good. They did what they're supposed to do. They have 2 big wins to start the season. They won like 55-3 or something against a bum team, but they're Rocco Beck and that boy hooping. I think he only missed 1 throw in that game, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I know it's South Dakota, but
He
he
was
went
19 or
19 for
20.
20,
Mhm.
3 touchdowns, and then I think he had another one. He had some rushing yards as well, but they're looking good. Another team, South Carolina, Sellers can sling the ball, man, and they won a big one against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech had some receivers that were making plays, but Sellers came back and said enough of this, and he ended the game with his arm. Another team I got is Florida, and then Illinois are 2 other teams that are looking good. I didn't put them in my top 10, but they're right there on the fridge. So I'll jump into my top 10, and the number 10 team in the country I still have is Notre Dame. Uh, I kind of just flipped them with Miami. They lost a tough game away, but this team's still really good. And my positive from the game is CJ Carr in his first start on the road. Uh, I thought the running game would be the strength of the team, but he honestly carried the offense and put 24 points up on the road against a good-looking Miami team. After that, I got ASU at 9. Uh, that quarterback to wide receiver connection just looks real. Uh, Sean Levitt he's a gamer, and then he got one of the best receivers in the country, and Jordan Tyson. I did want to see a bit bigger win against an AU team, but they did what they're supposed to do, and I'll kind of move them up because so many top teams lost. Number 8, I got Clemson. I'm still gonna have them ranked high. You know, LSU just looked really good. I think they'll bounce back from a tough loss. I know it was at home as well, but with that quarterback play and that head coach, I still have some faith in Clemson. Number 7, I have Texas. Uh, yeah, it just comes down to how well is Arsenal going to play in the future. Like we said, this defense is real. And, Sark is a good coach, but, after a tough loss, I had to drop him down 6 spots. At 6, I got Oregon. I'm not going to say much about this team. They look good. The quarterback looked good, but, they didn't really play anybody. So I moved them up 1 spot. At 5, I got Miami. This team looked legit against Notre Dame. They were at home, but the quarterback play looked good. Defense looked pretty decent, stopping that Notre Dame run game, and it's a big win week 1. And it comes down to Miami in the past years. Their defense not looking so well, but they stepped up against Notre Dame. Top 4 teams at 4, I got Georgia. They didn't play anybody, but they look solid. That quarterback did it with his arm and in the run game, and they're just a well-coached team. They're going to be just fine in the SEC, especially after Texas and Bama losing 2 close games. Top 3, I got LSU at 3. This team impressed me a lot, and I knew their quarterback Eric Nussmeier was going to sling it around, but I had them losing to Clemson at Clemson, just going in week 1 and getting that big dub spoke volumes to what this team did in the offseason and that head coach, finally showing up week 1 in the big game. So I'm giving them credit. So LSU at 3. 2, I got Penn State. This team, they look good week 1. Obviously, they did what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win big against a lesser opponent. And I think the quarterback play looks great. That defense looks great. And they're going to be a tough out for anybody. Number 1 team in the country, I'm going to give it to Ohio State. I do want to see more from this offense. I'm going to say that. And I think it will come over time. they need to get Jeremiah Smith the ball more, but I think that was more attributed to Texas's defense, as well as, offenses are a bit behind the eight ball in week one, but that defense looks scary, and they got a really good coordinator. So I think if Penn State went to Ohio State right now, the same thing would happen. Drew out with C stars. So I got Ohio State back at number one, and yeah, it's my top 10, guys. Let's hear your thoughts.
I'll start, Makai. I think it's a overall pretty good list. The only two I had kind of like cause to pause was Texas dropping real far. I think they just played number what? Yeah, it was number 3. Played Ohio State at Ohio State,
Yeah,
and they're all the way at 7. I think you had them now.
that's crazy.
That was a bit of a shock to me. I think also LSU with a huge jump, 9-3, was big. I understand why you're doing it. I don't think they'll jump that high. I can maybe see them moving up to 5. But 9-3 is huge, especially against a Clemson team who wasn't even in the top 3. So I can't really see them jumping.
They were 4, and they went to Death Valley and did that. But
like I said, I understand. I understand why you did it.
The only reason I'm going to say that is because they had a better win than Georgia. They had a better win than Miami. They had a better win than Oregon. That's why I put them that high.
This is your list, basically.
Texas,
just to get clarification, this is like your list, your opinion, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with the LSU one, but go ahead.
Go ahead,
that was all for me. That was all.
Okay. I'll just say the reason why I dropped Texas that far is just obviously it's a tough loss, but that offense looked lost most of the game, and just so many other teams had better wins because there was just so much shakeup. So
I don't think we'll see Texas drop below 5. That's my opinion.
No, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to compare you to because this is your opinion, but I mean, yeah, I thought Texas dropping was just way too low. At the end of the day, like I'm not going to give Georgia, who beat Marshall at home, more credit over losing by 7 to a top 3 team on the road. Like I find it hard when I already had you ranked higher. Like I just find it hard to put them under a team like Georgia. That's just my opinion. Yeah, Texas at 7. That's a bit puzzling. I didn't see them anything under than 5. I thought if you put them right under LSU, I think that would have been fine. I think that probably would have been a perfect spot because at the end of the day, like that's a very good team. And like watching that game, like Texas, that's a very good football team, and I don't think they got beat to a point where it's like, yeah, I don't know if Texas is. I thought that was a little low. LSU.
I agree with you guys. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, LSU I thought was a good. I'm fine with it. I was not mad at the jump. Honestly, I might have had them at 2. They looked really good. Like they looked really good. So I actually love the LSU love there. How?
They went on the road and did that.
Yeah, and I'm high on Clemson, so I had them as my number 1 ranked preseason team. So for them to go out and look like that, I hats off to you. I like the LSU jump, so I love the love there. Those are kind of the only things that I thought were a little bit. I don't think Arizona State's a top 10 team, but that's nitpicking. I don't think they're top 10, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad list.
Yeah, I really only moved them up because so many top 10 teams lost, and I'm like,
fair.
Who else am I going to move up? I guess you could have an argument for Florida, but we'll see in the weeks to come. Yeah, I guess I could put Texas over Oregon, which, I wouldn't be mad about, but I'm not going to put them over Miami, who just, won against a top 6 team. And then, Georgia was, they play pretty good. So, yeah. But I appreciate the feedback. We'll keep it pushing. Next, we have number 14 Michigan at number 18 Oklahoma next week, which will be a good matchup. So, Makai, you want to start us off?
Yeah. I mean, looking at both teams, I think this is kind of a a proven year for kind of both teams, if we're being honest here. I mean, Michigan coming off a 8-5 year, finished the year pretty strong with wins over Ohio State and Alabama at the end of the year, and they're here with their new freshman, a 5-star QB who looked very good in Week 1 against New Mexico. And then you have on the other side with Oklahoma, who's coming off a 6-6 year. Finished the year kind of strong towards the end of the year of last year. New transfer QB in John Mateer. But it's going to be an interesting game. I can't remember. Is it at the Big House or is it at OU? Let me double check. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to double check because I think that's going to play a big.
What was your question?
Is it in the Big House or is it at OU?
It's at Oklahoma.
So you.
Okay. So, yeah. So this will be Bryce Underwood, his second career start is at OU. So I think that is going to be very interesting. At the end of the day, Michigan's going to really lean into that run game. Hayes can really run it, can run the rock, can run it very well. Michigan is very stout defensively. I mean, they showed it against New Mexico and caused just havoc throughout the game. I like OU. I think they're a very good team. I like what they're doing over there, but I'm gonna be honest. I like Michigan. I do. I think Michigan wins that game. I think.
Nakai, just so you know, I just checked. Oklahoma is the 6-point favorite at home.
They're 6. Oh yeah,
that's surprising.
I'm not a betting man, but I may have to put in something on that spread because that is crazy. that is nuts. That is crazy. That is crazy. No, that's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Oklahoma does have talent on the outside, but it seems like it don't matter who talented on the outside. Michigan always seems to cause problems for receivers. So yeah, I like Michigan in that game. I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring game, which that does not favor OU. If you're OU, you want to try to. I think the number for OU is 27. I think if they hit 27, they can win the game. 24, 27, somewhere in that ball range. But I got Michigan. I think Michigan wins this 21-13. I think they stifle OU. I think they cause a couple turnovers. I think they make it easier on Bryce Underwood. He just makes a couple throws. Yeah, and I think they're going to really lean into the run game for Hayes and Underwood. And as they lean into that and play good defense, I think they beat OU. And I think Michigan gets a huge win on the road in Week 2. So it's about the only good game this week. So, yeah, I like Michigan.
I've got Oklahoma in this one. I really like their quarterback in Mateer. I think he's an absolute dog. I think he's going to have to use his legs in this one to make some plays. And I think this is a bigger game more so for Venables more than anything. I think he's on the hot seat this year. They already have a rough schedule as it is. You have to win this one early. You have to win the first one at home. And not to mention, Michigan is a very good team, and Venables has struggled against very good teams. So if he wants to keep his job in check, at least in the eyes of the people that are around OU, I say this is a must-win for him, even though it's early on. I got Oklahoma by 3, 24-21.
Yeah, I think I'm going to side with McCall in this one solely for the reason I'm just not sold on the SEC. They just keep getting slapped around by the Big Ten. From last year's bowl games to the playoffs to Week 1 last week. Something about the SEC, they just can't get it done against Big Ten teams. And that's solely pretty much what I'm basing this pick off of. I'm taking Michigan to win at Oklahoma 23-17. And I think that defense is going to give that offense some problems. And I think Bryce Underwood is legit. And I think he can control the game with his arm and legs, and he'll play good enough for them to win. So, yeah. Moving on, where we got our last game to discuss. We got number 11, Arizona State, going to Mississippi State. Nakai, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Top 10 team, I think they're probably top 10
Top
after
11.
this week.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see.
be.
So they'll probably be a top 10 team going into a tough environment in Mississippi State. Very, very tough place to play. But at the end of the day, I think the experience of Sam Lovett and the receivers they have on the outside, and I think they went out. I like them over Mississippi State. Blake Shapen can play, man. So I will say that for Mississippi State, Blake Shapen can play. But I like ASU in this matchup. I don't think it'll be. I think it might be a little close heading in down the stretch, but I think they pull away. I like ASU 28. I'd say 28-17. I think they win by two scores. But yeah, I like ASU in that game.
Again, I'm going to go the opposite. I got Mississippi State with an upset. I think they pull off a big win. I just kind of get the feeling. I think that is a very, very tough environment, and not to say that the quarterback doesn't have the experience and the coach. They did play a big game in Texas last year, but I think that first road game of the season is always tough. And if Mississippi wants to pull off an upset, this would be the week to do it. So I've got Mississippi State winning also in another close one. I've got them winning 28-24.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna rock with ASU. What I like what they did in week one is Sean Levitt. He passed for 2 touchdowns, 257 yards in the air, but he also ran for another 2 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards a carry, helping out that run game. And I just think he's at a position where he knows this is his team, not Cam Scadaboo's anymore, and he's got to take over in these types of games. And I trust him to do that. I think Jordan Tyson being back, they're just going to keep getting better. Tyson had 12 receptions, 17 targets for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last game, obviously, it was against NAU, but I think their connection is just only going to get better, especially because he missed some playoff time last year. So I think Arizona's offense will be the decider in this game. I got ASU winning 28-21. All right. Moving on, we're going to jump over to NFL. We're going to make this pretty quick. So we're going to give our picks and just give just one line of why this team is going to win. So we're going to start with Ravens at Bills. Jaden, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think this will be a great primetime game. Sunday night, I believe. For this one, I'm going to take the home team. I've got the Bills winning this one. It'll be a high-scoring game. I think defenses are obviously both good on both sides, but quarterback play is going to be on display. I think it'll be a really fun shootout to watch. So I got Bills by anywhere from 3-7. I'm going to say 35 to. I'm going to say 35-30. Bills win.
I agree to disagree. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's with QB's plays is going to be on display, man. Both, I think, the year before MVP and the MVP of last year, QB play is going to be on display. But I like Baltimore. I think they win 42-35.
I'm with McCall on this one also. I like the Ravens. I've been watching Hard Knocks with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm not super impressed with what I'm seeing. I think Lamar comes out early and just goes to work. I got Ravens winning this game 28-24. Also, I do like the Ravens defense a lot more than the Bills defense. So, yeah. All right, next matchup, we got Cowboys at Eagles. Jaden, take it away.
No, Makai's going to choose the Cowboys, so I'll choose the Eagles since we've been doing opposites today. I got the Eagles for this game. It's a blowout. I don't care what the score is. They're getting tore up. So Eagles by a long shot. And it's at Philly. So, yeah. 9-9.
Not so fast, my friend. I have the Eagles as well. So come on now. I have the Eagles. I think the Eagles go out and win. I think they're going to put a lot of points on the Cowboys. I'm not going to lie, but I think the Cowboys are going to be able to answer a bit throughout the game because they can score. And defenses in the NFL sometimes are a bit behind, especially week one at times. So I think it's 38-28. I have the Eagles winning. I think Dak Prescott, he'll stat pad a little bit towards the end. So yeah.
I got 38-20 for that game.
Yeah, I also got the Eagles. This is a no-brainer pick, especially after losing my guy. I think the whole organization is just in shambles right now. I got Eagles just putting some belt down and then Dak doing what he does in garbage time, just throwing a couple touchdowns late. So I got Eagles winning this game 34-24. Next matchup should be a bit more close. We got Lions going to the Packers.
Another great game for the NFC North. For this one, I've got Green Bay. With it being a home game, I'm a little uncertain on not Detroit as a team, but more so just for the first couple weeks. I think it's going to take some time to settle in. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, some question marks. They'll still be a very good team, but I got Green Bay for this one. I think Jordan Love needs to start out the season hot. That defense is disgusting. They got Micah now. They've got a prime player at every position. Corner, safety, linebackers are good. I got Green Bay winning this one 31-20.
Damn, they do got Micah. Goodness. I, I'm still gonna take Detroit. I think they get it done. I think they pull the upset going into Green Bay. Yeah, I think that's not the most popular pick. But I trust in goodness gracious, why can't I think of the head coach's name? Dan Campbell. Duh. I trust in Dan Campbell's ability to get them ready. I really like Detroit. I think with Aiden Hutchinson will also be back. I think that's going to help a lot of their issues that they had, later towards the season in terms of getting pressure on the quarterback. I think they rifle Jordan Love a couple times, and I think they caused a couple turnovers. I think they get it done. I like Detroit. I'd say 30. I don't think they put up 30. It's a good defense. I'd say 20, 24, 21. I like Detroit.
Yeah, I'm with Jaden on this pick. I'm just gonna keep it short. They got Micah there, and then I feel like the Lions they just have a bunch of players coming back from injury on the defensive side of the ball. I think Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs will be able to make something shake. And that boy Matthew Golden, he's the real deal. So that's going to add another weapon for the Packers. And they're in Lambeau. It's a tough place to play. And that crowd's going to be rocking. So I got Packers winning this one 28-24. All right, next game we got is the Chiefs at the Chargers. Jaden, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, this game is neutral. I believe it's in Brazil for this game. Pretty sure. I think it will be a good game. It's interesting how the NFL is doing these week one rivalries and division matchups. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, AFC West matchup. I got the Chiefs pulling it out by 3. I think it'll be a close game. Also, another offensive shootout as well. So I've got the Chargers winning this one. The Chiefs winning this one 34-31.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Yeah, it's in Brazil, like Jaden had said. But I also will say I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs in this one. I think it'll be a little more low scoring. It seems like Chiefs games typically are more on the low scoring end as of recent years. So yeah, I like the Chiefs. I think they get it done 24-17. Yeah, I think the Chiefs defense make a couple plays and Chiefs move on week one 1-0. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much about this game. I think the only team that's going to challenge the Chiefs in that division is the Broncos. I have the Chiefs winning this one pretty easily, 27-20. Uh, I'm only making it a 7-point spread because it's at the Chargers. But I think Mahomes is going to, after that Super Bowl loss, he's coming for his. Yeah, so next game we got Texans at Rams. Jane, let's hear your thoughts.
I think this will be another. We got a lot of good offensive games this week, in my opinion.
For sure.
I think there's always an offensive showdown. when a game's played at SoFi, especially when the Rams are hosting. For some reason, that always seems to happen. Although that Texans defense is very good. I think the Rams defense is a little underrated as well, but I've got the Rams winning this one. McVay just seems to always get it done in big games. So I've got the Rams winning this one 30-25.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very, very good game. I think it's probably the most underrated game of the week. With the Rams coming in, they have they just lost Cooper, but they're going to be able to put up points. All Rams teams do. And Kyron Williams is one of the better backs in the league. I think the Texans, I think they're just not having Mixon to start the year. Tank Dell, I think a lot of those weapons are they're going to be a problem not having those early on in the season. So I like the Rams as well going into this game. I think 30-21. I think they win by 2 possessions. So.
Yeah, I think this will be a good game as well. But I do think that this will be more of a defensive game, in my opinion. I think Stafford missing a lot of the preseason and not practicing is going to take effect in week one. And keep in mind, he has still to get um, that connection going with Devontae Adams. Obviously, it's Devontae Adams. There's not a lot to do. You just throw the ball in. But I think it will take effect, especially against Derek Stingley and a really good Texans pass rush. So I got the Texans actually winning this game 24-20.
I respect it.
All right. Last but not least, we got the Vikings at the Bears with that new head coach and Ben Johnson. Let's hear it, Jaden.
Really excited for this game. I really like what Ben Johnson did in Detroit. I think it's going to carry over, obviously, to the Bears as well. And they just got weapons all over the place. I mean, there's not a lot of holes in the roster, in my opinion. I think Ryan Poles has done a great job as the GM there in Chicago. They've got the QB, the receivers, the backs, and the defense, of course. How about actually the Bears winning this one against the Vikings? Being down a couple players, new quarterback, rookie, and JJ McCarthy. Um, I got the Bears winning this one on a Monday night, and I've got them winning 24-20.
Yeah, I as well have the Bears winning this one. I just love what I'm seeing over there in Chicago. Like you said, with Ben Johnson, I think he's definitely one of the best offensive minds and currently in the NFL. Currently, they have a lot of weapons. Also, too, I just got some uncertainty with JJ McCarthy. I know a lot of people ready to just crown him, but it's his first start as an NFL QB and coming off an injury too as well. That's just not easy at all. And I think playing against a team like Chicago, who also has a very good defense. So yeah, I like the Bears as well. I like them. I'll go a little bit of a different score. I don't think it'd be that high score. I like it 21-17.
I think we're all in agreement. I have the Bears winning as well. It comes down to Caleb Williams just having more experience than JJ, as well as Ben Johnson being able to dial it up. I don't think Minnesota's head coach will have an advantage in that regard anymore. And I think the Bears will just have more weapons on display with Swift, Adunze, and DJ Moore. So I got the Bears winning this one 23-20. And I also think Jordan Addison with that 3-game suspension is going to take effect. So, yeah, I got the Bears winning as well. Yeah. Well, I think we are out of time and we're through all of our topics. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. And we'll be back next week with more recaps and more big time matchups for the next week for NFL and college football. This is Magnet Ball Podcast signing out, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.